morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Las Vegas. You guys pumped? Yeah. That video certainly woke me up. How about a big hand for Irina, our DJ here? Okay? Irina works on the Acumatica engineering team. Yeah, I'm serious. She was DJing in her spare time. I saw her do it once, and I was like, that's it. So she started last year, did her first show with us last year, and she's going to be at every summit that I'm involved with because she's just awesome. So amazing to see this theater full. We've been here rehearsing and having a great time getting ready, and to now sit here and see it full is just mind-blowing. So we've got a few people here from Africa. Anyone out there from Africa? Okay. Some of the people who traveled the furthest, so thank you very much for coming here. How about Texas? Anyone here from Texas? Yeah? Yeah, Acumatica is pretty big in Texas, so. All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Acumatica Summit 2020. It's great to have you all here. You're going to hear us talk a lot about community and the Acumatica global community. And this truly is ground zero for that community. You know, every year we get together and watch how things go and watch how things grow and have fun together. And that's what the summit is all about. We're going to, of course, take a look at our latest release, 2020 R1. And we have so many things to show you that we can't even fit them all into the next 2 days. And we really have been having to cut demos, which is a little disappointing, right? Because we have so many good things we want to show you. But as you get into the release over the next few months, you're just going to be finding lots and lots of new, exciting things. So we got the sessions, we got the summit, we got an awesome party tonight at Hackathon at MGM. So I'll be over there. Hopefully, y'all come over and join me for a beer if they let me have one. I think I'm allowed to have one tonight. And then tomorrow, we wrap up the summit with a guy named Robert Ballard. And Robert Ballard's the guy who discovered the Titanic. So you remember last year we had Mike Massino, who was the shuttle astronaut. So this year we're going the opposite direction. We're going underwater, and we've got this undersea explorer, and he's got an amazing story, so you don't want to miss that. So welcome. We're so excited to have you all here. The summit, it starts off as a celebration of all the things we've done together as a community in 2019. And what we've done this year is we've put that together into a compilation video that I'd like to share with you as we celebrate the group accomplishments in 2019. So let's take a look. Right at the core of any digital transformation strategy has to be your business software application infrastructure. And that's what Acumatica is all about.
We chose Acumatica for the product. It's always been superior, and every year it gets better and better.
We chose Acumatica because we're expanding, and Acumatica is a tool that we can easily expand with.
It really has revolutionized the way ERP is today.
It's not just technology for technology's sake. It's technology and thinking about how can we apply it to very pragmatic problems in the real world. And I think that's what Acumatica is really, really good at. Yeah, 2019 really was an amazing year for Acumatica. I mean, every year is another pivotal step forward in our growth trajectory. But you saw in there, we put up the stat that we had 1,500 attendees at last year's summit. a little over 1,500, and we're very close to 2,500 attendees here today. So, yeah, it's, in some ways, it's the best way to really visualize what's going on in the growth around the Acumatica community. So 2,500 people here today, and we've got thousands more watching out on the internet, including some folks from my family. They like to tune in and then goof on me later, you know, send me little screenshots and that kind of stuff. A couple board members who were sick that couldn't make it, so shout out to the board. But you know, you saw 2019, we won some awards again. Every year we've won some great awards, but we're proud of those. We had some nice things written about us. But I think the thing I'm most proud of is if you saw on there was a graphic of the G2 crowd reviews. And those are reviews that are written by people like you about your experience day to day with Acumatica, and people are writing them about all of the competitive ERP landscape. And the fact that we're emerging in that top right corner is something we're very proud of, because that's all driven by folks like you, and we appreciate that. We appreciate that a lot. So one of the other things you might have seen in there was a clip that talked about Acumatica being acquired in 2019. And this was, in some ways, a very important milestone. And in some ways, it doesn't make a lot of difference. And I say that just because the acquisition happened, and as we operate, literally nothing has changed. The entire leadership team that you saw in the last few years is all still here. We're all still completely fired up about Acumatica, signed up for many years to come. We're having such a good time doing this and working with you. But the two things it does bring to us is, number one, more capital. So EQT Partners are the #6 private equity firm in the world, over $45 billion in capital. And so we now have access to new streams of capital. And I'm going to come back to that a little bit later this morning and some of the things that we can do with that additional capital. The second thing it brings to us is a number of sister companies that we now have. Sister companies with really interesting technology that we're able to leverage, we're able to share. And you're going to see some of that tomorrow in Ali's presentation. So stay tuned and pay attention for that tomorrow. It is always fun to look back a little bit, though. And for those of you who've been with us for a little while, this is the first Acumatica Summit a few years ago, right? This is before even I was here. So this is about 30 people. And to go from that to this is just amazing. Maybe? There we go. So I see. That's you guys. All right, so one of the other things we did last year at the summit, and we do every year, is we celebrate the Acumatica Awards. And one of the big ones is the Acumatica Customer of the Year. And just to remind everyone, I can tell you is more than half the people in this room, this is your first Acumatica Summit, okay? And just remember I said we've gone from 1,500 to 2,300. You can do the math, 2,500 rather. You can do the math and see, it's more than half the people. This is your first summit. So last year we did the Customer of the Year, and our Customer of the Year was a company called Fabuwood. And you see the COO on stage here with me and their partner Dan Schwartz from NextView. Fabuwood is the #5 kitchen cabinet maker in the country, United States. And one of the things I promised them is that I would come visit them when I was out on the road. And so you'll see on the side screens here, in October, I was going through the New York, New Jersey area, and I got over to Fabuwood and met up with Cindy and Joel, the CEO there. And we did a tour of the facility, and they had just opened a 1 million square foot warehouse. 1 million square foot warehouse, okay? Unbelievable. And it's doing everything from, of course, managing inventory to manufacturing and assembly to taking orders, palleting them up, and shipping them out 15 loading dock bays in the back of the facility. So really mind-blowing, and this will give you a sense of, any of you who've been inside a Home Depot, those stacks are twice as tall as the average Home Depot. So they're 9 stacks high. It was an amazing thing. And traveling around, got to meet with lots of other customers. We've added hundreds and hundreds of new Acumatica customers this year, so in 2019. And it's been amazing. I'll let this build out because many of you, if you look hard, you'll see your logos up there. We thank you for that. And I'm very excited to announce here this morning that we now have over 6,500 customers globally running Acumatica. So, yeah, so a few years ago, there were some competitors out there that hoping we were going to kind of dry up and blow away. That's not happening, right? It's going the other direction here, and we're excited about that. So I'm now very excited to announce our 2019 Customer of the Year. And this is a very difficult decision for us because we have so many great customers. But we look for a customer that's really using Acumatica to the full extent, really pushing the boundaries on what they're doing with the product. And one surfaced to the top as we had our discussions, and it's a company called Power Storage Solutions. And so I'd like to welcome to the stage, we've got Sarah here from Acumatica with Derek Elledge, the VP of Operations from Powered Storage Solutions, and then their partner, Mike Conti from Clients First. So take it away, guys.
Great, thank you. So this really is an honor. We love having the opportunity to share our customer stories, and hopefully that's what we're going to try and show you today. So first and foremost, Derek, tell us a little bit about Power Storage Solutions.
So Power Storage Solutions is a brand new startup, 2018. We do DC power backup systems. So when you lose electricity, we provide the gap of power so you don't lose your critical loads. And so we focus on engineering, fulfillment, installation, and ongoing services to make sure that those systems are operating properly. We have over 70 employees working in 46 states, and we are continuing to grow.
Fantastic. Really great. So helpful to help us understand, I believe last year was your first summit.
Yes.
You had just implemented and completed in December of 2018. So share with us a little bit about what that customer journey looked like from last year to now.
Oh, absolutely. So I got to step back. So in May of 2018, me and 2 other partners that were working in Interstate Batteries got the opportunity to purchase a spin-off of Interstate Batteries. So in May, we opened up the company.
Okay.
We had a 6-month service agreement to operate on Interstate Batteries operating systems. And we had a $25 million company with $18 million in backlog that we had to immediately start operating and at the same time find an ERP solution. You guys can imagine that just finding an ERP solution in 6 months is a difficult task. Implementing it is even
more challenging.
More challenging. So we had to take 5 different operating systems we were using at Interstate, find a solution. Luckily, we reached out to Clients First that had multiple options underneath that they showed us. We chose Acumatica, and within 3 months, and then the next 3 months, we went to work and we implemented the whole system in 3 months with less people, less time than it took us to put in Salesforce for just CPQ and CRM, and NetSuite at our last company. So we were extremely pleased. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of effort from Mike's team, but a real success story for us to get up and running in that amount of time.
That's amazing. So often we speak to our customers and really try to understand their situation before coming here. So you mentioned 5 different systems, an ERP, a CRM, an expense management. I mean, how did you tackle that and how did you approach that? And what is it really like with just one platform?
Those are great questions. So So at Interstate Batteries, we were really key on trying to use best-in-class systems, right? And so we had E1, we had Salesforce, we had Concur, we had Workday, we had Davis Ware for our service management. All of these were best-in-class systems, and they do amazing things individually. But what we found is when we put them all together, they were worst in class. We were always waiting on information for something. And so the one thing that we knew is we wanted to find something that could do everything in one solution. And so that's what we found with Acumatica. So we've taken and we're now going, in 1 year, we're going quote to cash. So we're starting out in the quote opportunity process, going to the quote process, creating projects, sales orders, all the way into inventory management, all the way into the accounting cycle. And it's all overlaid this accounting cycle. It's had a tremendous impact on our business already. The information flow between departments is streamlined. We get information to all the way from the guys providing the quote to our technicians to our accountants. And we've seen a major impact in our ability. We've seen decreases in inventory. We've seen project management on time and on budget increase. And we've seen, the best thing we've seen is a 6% increase in our bottom line.
Oh my gosh, that's
amazing.
fantastic. I mean, that just inspires us all. We love to hear a challenge like that, and wow, what an incredible impact that's had on your business. Well, we know that an implementation doesn't just happen by itself. It's so important that we really do understand what the partner brings to this and to help you be successful. So Mike, share with us a little bit about what that experience was like, maybe how you approached it and how things really turned out.
Well, first off, we had this amount of time. It was 4 months when we initially talked. Remember
So you
that?
ran,
Yeah.
right? You left.
The next time we talked, we had a little bit under 90 days. It was closer to 60 days. When I went back and took a look at the records, I thought, wow, we did that in 60 days. But we had to take all the data from the different systems, pull it all together, put it into Acumatica. And one of the things that really helped us a great deal was the power of the import tools. Our consultants, Gene, Christy, Sean, they worked really hard on the engagement, and what they were able to do is pull that data in without any real, heavy-duty technical work.
Right,
So
right.
they-
Especially with so many multiple systems, it can be really intimidating.
Exactly. And then after we got the data into the system, what we were able to do is create dashboards because you didn't stop, right?
Oh, yes.
You didn't stop. You said, hey, I need reports, I need dashboards. What he wanted to do is to tie all the information into the system and create meaningful dashboards, and that's exactly what we did within 60 to 90 days.
What a positive impact, and what a great story to share. I could just sit here and just keep asking you more questions, and for those who know, I could just keep talking. But I think it's time. I should probably let you go ahead and receive your
Thanks.
award.
Please come join me, and we'll give you the award. We'll take it. Yeah, big hand for Power Storage Solutions. Derek.
Hey, thank you so
All
much.
right, congratulations. There's the award. Mike, welcome. All right, our cameraman's down here somewhere. Right here. There he is. All right, gentlemen. Awesome job. Thanks for your support. What a great story. I love to hear the aggregation and replacement of all of those systems. So the next award we've got is it's an award we've evolved from a past award, which is focused around impact. So this could be a nonprofit or a for-profit organization that is doing good in the world, making the world a better place. And we're really lucky that lots and lots of Acumatica customers have missions that are about improving the world we live in. And so again, it was a tough discussion for us to pick one. But in the end, again, one rose to the surface. It's a company called Food Maven. And let's go ahead and learn a little bit about them.
I was a farm kid. My grandpa used to say, if you take care of the land will take care of you. Farming used to be local. You sold to local grocers. It made sense. Now it's a system of long-haul distribution. That means one middleman after another, and every time there's another middleman, there's more waste. For me, it's painful. I know how hard farmers work. I know how much waste there is in this country. We waste a whole 40% of everything. When there's that much waste, it's time for a change. At Food Maven, we're doing that. We've created an online marketplace powered by big data and real-time pricing to connect lost food directly with restaurants, hospitals, and hotels to cut inefficiencies and end food waste. We see a future where all food is used with good purpose. We are Food Maven.
Yeah, what a great story. And so I'd like to go ahead and invite Greg Lems, the Director of Engineering from Food Maven, to come on out and join me on stage. Hey, Greg. All right, welcome to the Acumatica Summit. Here's your award.
Thank you so much.
Let's go ahead and we'll do the picture since we got the guy. All right. We don't want to lose you. So, exciting mission you guys are on, and again, really making a big impact in the world. People going hungry is a big problem in this country, and obviously this is something that can make a material difference there. You guys can get to scale. So we heard about the mission, but we didn't hear much about what you guys are doing with Acumatica. So why don't you tell the crowd a little bit about that?
Sure. The way that we keep food from being wasted at Food Maven, what we're working on is a way to create a marketplace for food to go to that would normally get thrown away and due to the inefficiencies of the process. So we look for, from our suppliers, we look for food that is oversupplied, imperfect, even local. Local farmers don't have enough bandwidth or output to go into the big global system. And a lot of times what they produce is thrown away, which is a real shame. So we create a marketplace using Acumatica and that technology, and then we get that product for sale to customers that are large, institutional, like hotels. We signed up Hilton last year, universities, hospitals, that will take in that food at a good discount. Everybody wants to prevent food from being wasted, but you also got to provide a price discount. So we have real-time data feeds, big data, tied into Acumatica that gets good prices out on that marketplace so that the food doesn't go to waste.
Okay, so what's next on the Food Maven agenda?
We got to grow.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Exactly. Yeah. We got a $15 million Series B investment recently. Our board has people like Walter Robb, former CEO of Whole Foods, on it. Also one of the Walton family members. You can imagine that Walmart is a big food seller. They want to solve that problem too. So we're in Colorado right now. We're about to move to Dallas, look for an announcement about that. And then we're going to go to the rest of the country. So growth is our big initiative. Acumatica is what we're using to scale that. We're greatly appreciative of this award and everything that you've done for us.
All right, Greg. Well, hey, awesome to have you here. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Give them all a big hand. Great stories there, the customer of the year, the impact customer of the year. And it's honestly, it's the funnest part of our jobs is getting to see customers being successful with Acumatica, and it always puts a smile on my face. So I'm going to shift directions now a little bit and talk a little bit about the products that we've got going on. And I'm an old techie and I love to talk about products. As you all, I think, know at this point, everything at the core of Acumatica is about solving customers' digital transformation problems, taking people from old systems like we heard, sometimes even what people are now coining legacy SaaS systems, and rolling those together into a modern environment, highly integrated environment where they're able to get at the functionality that they need there. And as we think about this, it's very important to understand that this is a place where Acumatica is just very different than most of the other ERP vendors out there. Acumatica spends a disproportionately higher amount of our revenue onto R&D expenditure. So at our core, we are a tech company. And that's not true. A lot of our competitors, if you look at them, 80% of their employees are sales and services people. 74% of Acumatica employees are in R&D roles. And because of that, we get really excited about product. But not just product and features for the sake of it, but product and features that can be applied to pragmatically solve real customer problems. So, am I supposed to dance? So, and we ultimately think that that leads to customer success. So as I mentioned earlier, the release we've got here at the summit, every 6 months we're putting out a new release. We're on this rhythm of a spring release of R1 and then a fall release of R2. So 2020 R1 is teed up and in the chute. Very excited about this release. In terms of the core general business edition, we've literally touched and enhanced every module in the product line. So that means from inventory to, of course, many updates in core financials, fixed assets, etc. But the place I'm going to focus on this morning is on our industry editions. This is something that we started 4 years ago, maybe even a little bit more than 4 years ago. We launched our first industry edition, and then have embarked on considerable investment into these areas. And I've got some exciting news across several of these this morning. So what I want to do is start off with Commerce Edition. Commerce Edition has been out there now for a little bit more than 3 years. And Commerce Edition is all about how can we make it as easy as possible to deliver a high quality ERP and integrated website, commerce site together and make it easy to keep those updated. That's where things tend to get really difficult. And so we've been shipping connectors in the box for several years with Acumatica. But at the end of last year, we made a big decision, which was to bring Big Commerce into the Acumatica Commerce Edition. We think Big Commerce is a really strong impedance match for the Acumatica Commerce customers. And we've built a connector natively, and it ships inside Commerce Edition. We still continue to support Magento, Shopify, etc. But this offers certain key benefits from a customer perspective. And so I'd like you to hear a little bit about those.
Firewire started in late 2005, and a very talented board builder in Western Australia came up with a different way of building a modern surfboard.
I think that to disrupt an industry is exciting in the sense that you can create a new way to do things. In our case, the way that we build surfboards and the way that that makes them feel while you're surfing. In Acumatica's case, that could be creating an easier workflow for someone from the C-suite all the way down to an hourly wage employee.
One element that we've been extremely excited about is a partnership that we did along with Big Commerce and a company in Australia called Matter Design, which was able to pull these stock items from Acumatica all the way to the product pages of our website.
It makes working easier. I mean, whether you're in the office or out, we're all on the same page across US, Australia, Portugal, UK, Thailand, and everywhere in between.
Without a doubt, Acumatica was the perfect fit for Firewire surfboards because it is a global solution for a global organization to be able to deploy and have success.
Yeah, let's give a hand for Firewire. Super cool company to work with, of course. Kelly Slater, you saw Rob Machado, some of the best surfers in the world are there. And you saw Franklin, their CFO. I guarantee you Franklin is the best surfing CFO in the world, okay? And he's running Acumatica, so it's something we can all be proud of. So Franklin and Meredith are here. You might see them wandering around. But the thing I'd like to highlight in the video was where they talked about the ability to take images or pricing or stock information out of the Acumatica system seamlessly out to the website. And it makes doing those updates very easy. You don't need to have a website specialist person that's out doing all of that. It just becomes something that the core team that's running Acumatica can manage as well. So we're really excited about this partnership with BigCommerce, and you're going to hear more about that over the next year as well, because there's more going on there. Okay, the next edition I'm going to switch to is Manufacturing Edition. And Manufacturing Edition we've been shipping for the last 4 years in partnership with an ISV called Jazz Systems. And it's become one of our leadership SKUs. About 25% of our customers are running Manufacturing Edition today. And we are excited about what we've been able to do, but we want to do even more. We want to go even faster. So I'm excited to announce this morning that over the weekend we signed the final paperwork and Acumatica has acquired Jazz Systems. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of work getting it done, but it's absolutely the right thing to be doing. And the whole Jazz team is joining Acumatica. And we've got John Schlemmer, the COO of Jazz, here. So John, come on out. Let's say a few words. So, hey man.
Good.
All right. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us here. So, you guys excited? Excited
We're very
to join
excited.
us?
My team and I are super excited to join and take this to the next level. I think there's going to be some really neat things you guys are going to see with 2020 R1 and some new partnerships that we're going to talk about later. And, you know, so I think going forward, I think 2020 R2 is just going to be a rocket ship. So with your guys' help.
Yeah, so this is really about accelerating. So, you know, say a little more about that.
Yeah, I mean, from our standpoint, I mean, most of you know that we're, you know, relatively a small team, and I think, you know, with the advent of adding additional resources from a support, development, engineering standpoint, that's one of the things that we need, and I think we're going to get that help, and we'll be able to accelerate this much quicker than what we have in the past.
Absolutely. All right, John. Well, thank you, and thank the Jazz team. I saw some of them standing over here. Now joined in Acumatica, so. Yeah, this is all about accelerating. We're going to be putting, you know, I mentioned EQT gives us capital. This is one of the things we're doing with that capital. And it's not just acquiring, but we're going to be investing and we're going to be scaling up even further here. But we're not done with our plans around manufacturing. And I'm very excited. We've got a very special guest here to join me this morning. So Dudani, are you here, sir? Yes, he is. Come on out and join me here on stage. Good morning.
Hello, John. Thank you.
It's great to have you at the Acumatica Summit.
Great. Thank you for your kind introduction.
All right. Well, so some people probably know you from platforms past. You've been doing ERP for longer than me. But why don't you, if people don't know you, why don't you start by just telling them a little bit about your company, eWorkplace, and some of the things you've done building up to this?
Sure. So eWorkplace Apps is a spin-off from Batchmaster Software, and you probably have heard of them because we've been around for quite a while. In the past, we have really served many ERP platforms, but primarily client-server framework, and the time has come to really move on from those to cloud ERP and web development. So John and I met, about 6 months back, and we discussed how we could together bring all the innovations of Batchmaster to the XRP platform. And so we first evaluated your platform. My team got their hands on the platform for a couple of weeks, and in a very short period of time, they fell in love with it. And we made a very strategic decision to make a team of about 30 developers, consultants, and analysts to just start developing extensions to the Acumatica manufacturing and distribution editions. So here we are. We are going to be introducing some products in the future.
Yeah, so let's talk about the products that are coming. So last night in the Acumatica Marketplace during the reception, If any of you were paying a careful attention, you would have seen this thing in the back left corner called Quality Management for Acumatica. So why don't you tell them a little bit about that now?
So if you're a manufacturer or a distributor and you wish to bring a quality, let's say a formal quality framework in your business processes, then quality management is the module you want to acquire so that you can just define your inspection plan and let the software then tell you when to perform the quality test. You simply record the test and go on to certifying whether your products, incoming products and outgoing products are certified.
Awesome. And so,
and I might add that these are built, of course, with all of the Acumatica tool set. So when you use those modules, learning curve is minimal because they'll look and appear the same.
Yeah, absolutely fully integrated. I saw a demo the other day, super intuitive. And when should people be expecting this?
Well, we're going to start our early adoption program in March, which is only 2 months away. So if you have those needs, please come visit us in the booth and we'll love to learn more about your requirements.
Awesome. What do you guys think? Quality? Quality's a good thing, right? But as they used to say in the Ginsu knife ads, wait, there's more. So what else we got cooking up?
Of course, if we didn't really do process manufacturing on Acumatica, then that'll be a joke. No, we have already started working on that. So as I said earlier, we're going to bring decades of innovations that we have done through Batchmaster now onto the cloud ERP platform and the web platform. So we are working on those, and for those of you who are not familiar with process manufacturing, with these you'll be able to address the needs of your food and beverage customers, chemical, pharmaceutical, Nutra, as well as personal care. So you may have done okay with discrete manufacturing, but process manufacturing will take you so much further ahead.
Okay, and expectations on time frame here?
I think we are well underway, so we are pretty confident that we'll have our early adoption program in August of this year.
Okay, well, fantastic news. Yeah, we're excited about this too. So, all right, so thank you so much for joining us here today. And again, these guys have a booth in the marketplace, so feel free to swing by and see them later.
Wonderful.
So have a good rest of the summit.
Thank you.
So hopefully it's clear that with this combination of the investment in acquiring Jazz and the additional resources that we're putting into that base level manufacturing platform, and then this partnership we're embarking on with eWorkplace, the developers of Batchmaster, quality, and we're going to bring process manufacturing to Acumatica as well. So we're really going after a leadership position here in the manufacturing space. And I tell you, the whole dev team is just incredibly fired up about this. So, okay. The last one I want to talk about, the last industry edition I'm going to talk about this morning is Construction Edition. Construction Edition is our newest industry edition. We first launched this now about 2 years ago, and it's doing incredibly well. We now have over 200 well over 200 customers now live and running Acumatica Construction Edition. You see some of them scrolling around here. Hartzell, is Hartzell in the house somewhere? There they are down here. Hartzell was our Acumatica Construction Edition Customer of the Year announced last night. So thanks for being here, guys. Yeah. And it's been really fun to be first into an industry. There was no other real cloud construction ERP before we shipped Acumatica Construction Edition. So we're really happy to be there. And we got some announcements around Construction Edition here today. For those of you that haven't heard of it, there's an organization in the construction space called CFMA, and it's the Construction Financial Management Association. It's a very important organization in the construction software space. And we're very lucky to have Stuart Binstock, the President and CEO of CFMA, here to join me on stage for some important announcements. Hey, Stuart.
How are you, John?
I'm doing great.
Nice to see you.
Awesome to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. He runs his own show. They do a CFMA show every year, so if you're in construction, that's a good one to go to as well. So we've been working together, my construction team and you, for some time now, and we've got a few things to tell the audience about. So let's start off with, first you should actually, there's a bunch of people who don't know exactly what CFMA does. So why don't you start off by telling them a little bit about CFMA?
Let me give you the 30-second elevator speech. We just hit 9,000 members. It's the largest we've ever been. So we're growing very rapidly. We have 98 chapters in the United States and Canada. 65% of our members work for construction companies. They're either a CFO, they're a controller, they're in some capacity in finance. 35% of our members want to work for construction companies. Folks like you, accountants, sureties, bankers, and really our whole essence for being is we're a networking and education association. We have a conference, as you just said, like this. It'll be late May, early June this year in Washington, D.C. We have 5 tracks where things like technology, HR, accounting, and finance are offered to our members.
Awesome. Okay. So in terms of our announcements, let's get to the first one here. So pop this up on the screen, and I'll let you take it, Stuart.
So we're in our partnership with Acumatica, Acumatica will be offering all of its new customers a year's free membership at CFMA for their new customers. So we're very excited to work on that partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great thing for our construction customers to get in the association. You know, you guys, we believe in community. This is a very strong community in that construction space. But you talked a bit about CFMA, and we're getting people a membership. But you also play a very important role in terms of looking at data, industry data, and aggregating that data in useful ways. So why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we have a product called the Benchmarker. So our members benchmark themselves against each other. It is a very powerful product where our members, we have probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people who now provide us their financial data. We aggregate all of that data, and what we put together there are 22 ratios that we come up with. You can look at best in class, you can look at how you compare with one another, but the power of it, I think, really is you can dig down. If you're a $50 million electrical contractor and you work in the Northeast, you can compare yourself to a $50 million electrical contractor in the Northeast. So you can separate yourself by SIC code, you can separate yourself by geography, and you can separate yourself by revenue size. Very powerful tool to look at how you're doing to compare it to other folks in the industry.
Yeah, and you can see, absolutely, how do you stack up against your peers, different categories, and then where do you got to go and focus to improve? And so what we've done with Stuart's team is we've worked to import that benchmark data into Acumatica. And so you'll see a screen behind me here. We're showing that actual benchmark data inside Acumatica, and we let you focus in on those 22 metrics that Stuart talked about. And we very easily take you to what can be an action plan. So let's say you're falling behind in terms of receivables versus your peers. You can quickly get and see that that's the problem, and what do you need to do to get after that. And so I think it's a great example of things we need to see happening in more industries going forward. It's super useful to be able to compare yourself against your own peers, your own geo, size, all of those sorts of metrics. So it's a great partnership with CFMA, and thank you so much for being here to announce this with me, Stuart.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Now, we're not done with announcements yet. Told you guys we had a lot teed up for this morning. And the next one's something that people have been asking me about for at least 4 years. And I'm very excited to announce that we are now delivering Acumatica Payroll. Okay? So this is delivered from Acumatica, fully integrated on top of the Acumatica platform with all the appropriate modules, of course, financials. It is particularly interesting to the construction space because we are supporting both certified construction and then unions. I've had to learn more about unions and construction, overtime rules, and all of this stuff over the last year. more than I ever thought I would need. But it turns out it's really important stuff. You have somebody doing drywall in the morning in Massachusetts. They go over the border into New Hampshire in the afternoon, and they're doing framing. It's a completely different coding, and you've got to get all those rules right. And we've made sure we've nailed that in Acumatica payroll. So, and of course, all of the federal, all of the state forms are going to be there, and we're keeping them all up to date. So, something that people have been asking us for a while, and I'm very excited to say we've gone and we've delivered it. So, on our industry editions, we talked about Commerce Edition, we talked about Manufacturing Edition, we talked about Construction Edition, and I'm going to leave Distribution and Field Service for Ali and the team to take you through tomorrow, because there's a bunch of exciting things that we're doing there as well. And now I want to shift gears away from the product and talk about the community a bit more. The Acumatica global community, and as you saw, we've got people here from all around the world at this point. It truly is a global community, growing all the time, and it really is a focus for us because we believe we can make this a core strength. And it's something that we believe a lot of the other software vendors are ignoring. So today, we've got the resellers, the Acumatica resellers. We now have over 300 resellers selling Acumatica globally. The majority of those are in North America. And what we're seeing with the reseller ecosystem is they continue to scale up and become more specialized. They're aligning up with our industry editions, and so you're finding experts in manufacturing, you're finding experts in commerce, et cetera. And we think that's a really good thing. Now, related to this, we made an announcement back in December with an organization that many of you are probably familiar with on a new partnership we're embarking here. It's an organization called BDO Digital. And in case anybody here isn't familiar with them, we've got a video, we can learn a little bit about them. So please run the video. Okay, so that's a little on BDO. And we're very lucky to have Maurice Liddell from BDO Digital here to join us this morning. So come on out, Maurice. Welcome to the Acumatica Summit.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here, John.
This is your first of hopefully many. So
hopefully so.
So I think most people probably know a bit about BDO, and we got to learn some more specifics about what you guys are doing in BDO Digital. And we're both organizations extremely aligned around digital transformation and what we can do to help our clients there. But why don't you talk a little bit about what you guys are doing specifically with Acumatica?
Absolutely. So a little bit of background on how we got here.
Yeah.
BDO's been in business for just about 110 years.
Okay.
At that time, we've grown to 60 offices in the United States with 7,300 employees. And we've expanded globally to where we are now in 162 countries, over 1,600 offices, and 80,000 employees. And as we just saw from the BDO Digital, we recently formed this group from that foundation to really focus on the technologies and capabilities to help our clients harness the full power of technology. And so within that, we're bringing services such as digital transformation, IT optimization, program project management, business process optimization. So those are the things that we brought together and being able to help work with the VARs to be able to offer those types of services to Acumatica clients. And in particular, what we wanted to be able to do is have the VARs be able to leverage that footprint that I just talked about. Because we've heard through survey after survey, a couple of the key elements that companies are looking at for determining their service providers is local presence and industry expertise.
Absolutely.
So being able to leverage that by the VARs, I think helps them to get into markets and areas that they may not have been able to before.
Yeah, and you guys obviously work on lots and lots of software selection processes. And so being able to have this connection with that and where appropriate, be able to recommend Acumatica is something we're really excited about.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I'll be honest with you, John, a year and a half ago, I didn't know about Acumatica. And it wasn't until we had hired an employee who used to be a CIO of an organization and was a client of Acumatica. And he said, why aren't we looking at this as an opportunity for our clients? And so he helped educate us. And he's the one that's really helped bring us to this relationship as we started taking a look at it, saying, this is a great option for our middle market clients. And so now we are bringing that in as part of the selection criteria or an option for them.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic story. So thanks to BDO, thanks Maurice for being here this morning, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, and if I may, we would like to get to know more of the Acumatica community, so please stop by our booth or attend our session. I think it's Tuesday at 2 o'clock where Francisco will be talking about this partnership.
All right, that's fantastic. Yeah, please join the session. All right,
thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. You know, just playing off what Maurice said, that's something I'm hearing more and more. It's just happening more and more, which is somebody was running Acumatica somewhere else. They wound up in a new organization, and they're calling us almost immediately saying, we want to get this new organization onto Acumatica. So that word of mouth is propagating through the industries as well, and that we're really excited to see that. So let me shift to the next component of our global community, and this is our international distributors. So we work with a number of large companies around the world that are taking Acumatica, helping us localize it for country-specific delivery. So that can be tax rules, of course, language, accounting rules vary significantly by country. So this is organizations like MYOB in Australia, Visma in the Nordics, Lexware in Germany, Cegid in Paris. We announced them last year at the summit, and I was at their launch in June in Paris, which was a lot of fun. Paris is a great place to go and spend a few days. And these guys are continuing to scale up around the world with us. And we're very excited to have a set of folks from Sensoft, our Malaysian partner. They just recently shipped GRP, so they sell to the government institutions in Malaysia. They just recently shipped GRP 9 based on Acumatica, and they're sitting with us over here. So I'd like to give them a shout out. Please bring the lights on. Yeah. Okay, there they are. Great to have you guys with us. Appreciate it. It's a long trip. We know it's a long trip. I've done it the other way. So great to have you guys. I think between Africa and the folks that are here from Asia are the folks who probably traveled the furthest. All right, on to the next component of our Acumatica global community, ISVs. And ISVs play an important role, and it's a role that we've really worked to embrace, and we've staffed up a team that works from Acumatica with the ISV ecosystem, mainly based out of Montreal, but we've got people in a lot of different places, but mainly based out of Montreal, Canada, where we're now working with over 200 ISVs, right? And so that's almost double where we were a year ago. And it shows the scaling up that's happening around Acumatica as more and more ISVs are coming and saying, we're hearing about Acumatica, we want to come and do an integration with Acumatica, and we've got the team there to help support that. Over 100 of them are here, showing their there are offerings in the Acumatica marketplace. And one of the things that we're helping them with is to get Acumatica certification. And so this is, you can think of this as the good housekeeping seal of approval. It means that our team has run through the ISV's code and interoperability with the Acumatica platform, and we feel good about that offering. And so it's something we're working with the entire ISV group to get them all up to certified status. But very excited for an announcement we've got here this morning with an ISV that is another Bellevue, Washington-based company. So they literally are about 2 miles from our headquarters office in Bellevue, Washington. It's a company called Smartsheet. And very happy to have Steve Stewart, who's the head of channels from Smartsheet, sitting over here with Sarah and Ajoy. So let me throw it to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Jon. Great, welcome, thank you. It's always exciting to get a perspective from our ISVs. Steve, tell us a little bit about Smartsheet for those who aren't aware of what this solution provides.
Yes, it's great to be here with everybody from Acumatica. Smartsheet is really changing how people work. We're enabling teams to interact and collaborate in an entirely new way. And we're really driving that innovation through multiple different use cases in 83,000 different customers, 190 countries around the world.
Impressive. Always excited to hear this. Ajoy, maybe you can share with us some of the latest developments and what is going on with this integration with Smartsheet and Acumatica and what that difference will be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve, for being here. It's been great working with the Smartsheet team for the last couple of years. As many of you know, we have an integration with Smartsheet already, and we have a lot of joint customers that are actually using Smartsheet and Acumatica together. Smartsheet is a phenomenal platform for project managers, folks in the field, to be able to plan the work, manage the work schedule, work with the resources, both employees and whatnot, and assign them to set up projects and so on. So you're seeing some screens up there, showing the nice visual scheduling tool, the capability that Smartsheet has. But in addition to that, with the integration, now you can bring that data seamlessly into Acumatica and have that bidirectional connection. So the project accounting team in the office are on the same page, with the project managers and the field staff and so on. So we are excited about what it is today. But one of the things we're working with Smartsheet team, and again, Steve, I appreciate your partnership here, is to double down on that integration. So we're putting investment in to take some of those areas further, with tightening connection with the dashboard, having that employee information exchange between the two systems and so on. We'll share more later this year, but we're totally excited and appreciate the commitment from Smartsheet to take it further.
Absolutely. It's exciting to hear how we can really improve the customer experience. And I think, Steve, you have a really exciting announcement that really plays to this very well.
Yes, so two things. So in addition to what Ajoy mentioned, expanding the technology integration, we're announcing today that Smartsheet is now available on the marketplace for all Acumatica customers and partners. So fulfilled by Acumatica, Smartsheet, the entire product portfolio available on the Acumatica marketplace. We are really excited to be here and to meet Acumatica partners, and we're out in the lounge, in the lobby, the Smartsheet lounge as you exit. We would love to talk to any Acumatica partners about the fantastic investment in enablement and really driving your ability to bring implementation and technology services to the joint Acumatica Smartsheet story.
Fantastic. This marketplace is such a fantastic way to help promote and support this integration and really to make it easier to do business with. I think that's going to be really relevant to the customers and the partners here in the audience. Fantastic. Appreciate this announcement. Thank you so much. With that, I will turn it back over to you, Jon.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Joy. So Smartsheet in the Acumatica marketplace. We talked about the marketplace that's here live, the live marketplace. But as I mentioned earlier, we also have, I believe it's 150 plus companies that are now, our ISVs that are now selling their products on the online Acumatica marketplace and are fulfilled through the Acumatica resellers. So again, a place we're making significant progress towards our vision of making this a sort of a one-stop shop. So as we think about this as a global community, and I've talked about the key components and the key membership groups there, the ISVs, our international distributors, the resellers, but of course there's all of you, our customers, and other ways you can get involved. I'd say first off, online. The online forums on LinkedIn, on Stack Overflow, on GitHub are going really well. I'm really excited to see the participation there, and I'd encourage all of you to get out online. If you've got a question, trying to figure something out, it's a great place to go and get help from people who have already figured something out. The next one I want to mention is user groups. And let's hear from the user groups. Come on, guys. Pretty fired up bunch yesterday. They had a user group meeting here yesterday at 2 o'clock. They're serving alcohol. And I was like, not yet, not yet. So a year ago, we didn't have user groups. And coming like right off of the Acumatica Summit 2019, folks got together, led by Joel Gress, formed the first user group in Atlanta. And it's a craze sweeping the nation. So we now have 9 user groups that have formed. And there was a user group meeting where all the user groups got together yesterday. And I know we're going to have a bunch more getting formed off of that meeting. So what I'd say is if you're in one of these communities that you see up on the map there, feel free, get signed up. You can see the acumaticausergroup.com for more information. Get signed up and connected with your local user group. And if you're in a place that doesn't have one, you can also see what's going on there in terms of activity of getting formed, formation of a new one. And if you want to get involved in forming a user group, because some people are really, really excited about this, again, we can help you do that. And this is something that Acumatica is very committed to supporting going forward. Now, underlying a lot of our community efforts, we have a very important group that we value very highly, and that's the Acumatica MVPs. There are now over 80 Acumatica MVPs, developer MVPs, product MVPs that play an incredibly important role in the Acumatica community. They're up there on the forums, they're blogging about Acumatica, they're doing sessions and leading in the hackathons. And so what I'd like to do here is we've got the list up there. Can we bring the lights up? And I'd like to ask all the MVPs, please stand up. Let's give these guys a hand. Truly, thank you for all you do. And one of the roles, I mentioned that they play a role in, one of the things they play a role in, the hackathons we do. And we had the 3rd annual hackathon at the Acumatica Summit over the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, we had about 100 people participating, 15 teams. And you see here a picture of Team Theta with some of the Acumatica developers. Team Theta won the hackathon and will be demonstrating their solution in the developer track. And it truly is just amazing of what these people are able to do. All the teams were able to get done in 24 hours, taking advantage of the Acumatica platform, the frameworks that sit on top of that. Really, really interesting ideas that came out, and we'll have information about those all posted online as well. So if you're in the developer track, go check that out. So global community, okay? User groups, online, all of our various partner types. And it's something we are embracing. We're doing everything we can to encourage and support. And this, of course, the Acumatica Summit is absolutely ground zero for the Acumatica community. So thank you all for coming out to the summit and participating with us here. Yeah, so give ourselves a hand. So now I want to talk a little bit about where are we going. The number one question I get asked is, what's Acumatica's future direction? Where are you going, particularly with the technology perspective? And what I'll tell you is it's not that difficult to figure out. All you need to look at is what we've been saying for the last few years, because we've been very consistent on this. We're investing in 3 core areas. It's the platform and the technology underlying all of that. It's building best-in-class business functionality into all of our modules. And then it's the industry editions. And you've seen, I've talked about just some of the payoff just today around industry editions in 2020, R1, et cetera. But underlying all of that, we're embracing new technology all the time. And those of you who have been to the Acumatica Summit, one of the funnest sections is the second half of the day 2 keynote tomorrow. So make sure you don't miss it. I don't want to see people hungover in the casinos. I want to hear day 2 because we've got some really, really neat technology demos that we're going to show you. We were the first ERP company to do an Amazon Alexa integration and support natural language in an ERP system. Last year you saw us embrace Tableau. We had Tableau here on stage with us and BI analytics solution, and I'm seeing lots and lots of customers using both Tableau as well as Microsoft's Power BI and other tools out there like Solver, et cetera. There's a great ISV community around the data visualization. But one of the areas that Acumatica is investing substantially is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And I talked about this last year at the summit. We've built out a substantial team of developers and data scientists because we think there's no shortage of opportunity across every module. It could be in CRM around opportunity optimization, inventory optimization. In accounting, there's again no shortage of places where you can apply machine learning and try and make things more efficient. It could be audit, it could be looking for anomaly detection, those sorts of things. So that's what we're working on. And you saw the first pieces of that delivered in 2019 R2. And we delivered a help system that's being driven by machine learning and some other base components in the modules. But we've got a lot more coming this year in 2020 R1 and 2020 R2. And so to take a look at a little bit of that, I've asked Jessica to join me on stage here. Jessica, show them a little bit of what we're working on in 2020 R1.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Gadboys. I'm from Acumatica's Partner Enablement Team, and I am thrilled to give you the first glimpse today of Acumatica 2020 R1. Now, like John said, this is a very practical application, the demonstration that I am going to share with you. Whether we know it or not, everybody in this room has one thing in common, and that is after this trip, we are all going to pull out our crinkled expense receipts and go out and file our expense reports. So what I'm going to do is walk you through a quick demonstration of how Acumatica has taken the artificial intelligence functionality, the machine learning, and pushed that into our expense receipt capture from a mobile device. So I'm going to take you over to my mobile application. This is all the native-based Acumatica mobile app. So for those of you that are new, you can find our app in the Apple Store, in the Android Store, completely native to those operating systems. Now, if you look in the top left-hand side of my screen, I'm going to select my expense receipts here. And then down in the bottom right, I have that plus sign where I can actually go in and scan my receipt now. So I have this receipt up here. Oh, watch that, it's gonna be blurry and it still be able to capture the recognition. So what you're going to see is that this is a receipt from Las Vegas. Where else in the world could I be able to get a $9 bottle of water? And actually, you know what, let me do that one more time so you can see it a little bit more clearly, but it actually did pick it up if you noticed as well. There we go. So what's it going to do there? It's allowing us to use Azure Forms Recognizer, which is part of the overall cognitive search functionality from Microsoft. And it allows us to go through millions of documents and records at once to be actually able to scan all of the fields on that receipt and pick them up automatically. So if you look there, it caught the description, it caught the amount, it caught the date. If, of course, one of the fields wasn't picked up, I could go ahead and select the different field I would like to change. But as I drop that into my expense receipt now, it requires me to email no receipts to myself. It requires me to not have to type in any of this expense receipt information whatsoever. It's even picking up that expense item, which is actually the expense item that tags back to the general ledger so that we know what type of AP liability needs to be paid out against this expense receipt. Anybody in the room think they might be able to benefit from this type of functionality? Extremely practical application. I hope you are going to take advantage of that in all of your businesses. First glimpse of 2020 R1 in artificial intelligence. I'm going to send it back over to Jon for now.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Super cool. We can't do a keynote without at least one demo, right? And it's fun thing about being CEO is I get to pick some of the best ones. But what you see there is we're taking artificial intelligence and machine learning and we're applying it so it's going on in the background. You as a user don't even need to know that that's going on. So back to that point of pragmatic application of technology. We're not just doing it for technology's sake, but we're really able to surface it so it's providing real end user benefit there. And that's what we're really excited about. In terms of looking forward as well, the one other thing that's worth mentioning is that Acumatica, we believe we have a distinct advantage because we are platform independent. Many of our competitors at this point are getting very connected to a particular cloud infrastructure, a particular, their own company's artificial intelligence and machine learning engines. And what we are finding as we're developing a lot of these models, that the Amazon SageMaker model is better at certain things. Google's is much better at vision. And the one you just saw there is from Microsoft. And so what we're able to do is look across the whole field of offerings and pick the one and apply the best one to the situation that we're trying to solve for. And we think that that's something that's going to be unique to us and it's going to become a bigger and bigger advantage. Now, all of this, our ability to take this technologies, like artificial machine learning or natural language, and bring them in and surface them to you as developers, you as end users, is all due to the magic of the Acumatica platform. It's very easy to bring in new technologies, very flexible, surface them through new interfaces, new APIs, and make it so we can bring it to market extremely quickly. And so it really is truly, at the end of the day, many things that we're doing go back to the decision we made many years ago to be absolutely pure to a single platform, and everything you're going to see delivered from Acumatica is going to be running on that platform. And as you'll see tomorrow, we're going to show you a new workflow demo, but I think that's one of the biggest benefits that you get from the Acumatica platform, is that the business process workflows are all running in a very consistent way across this unified platform, which is delivering incredible benefits and just getting better and better. But we aren't done by any means, and we're out gathering feedback all the time as we build, as we build our roadmap for future versions. We're out doing focus groups. We have something online called feedback.acumatica.com. If you have an idea for a feature that's not in the product that you'd like to see, jump on that site, feedback.acumatica.com. First thing though, I'd say search to make sure that it truly is a unique idea, because there are several hundred up there already. And if you do find that it's already there, what you can do is you can go and vote for it. And so you'll see votes tallied against feature suggestions. And one of the things you'll hear about tomorrow is we truly do look at that and we take the ones that are getting the high votes and we bring them into the development team and we go and we build them. And that's a pretty unique thing for Acumatica, because I can tell you that the companies I've worked at before didn't operate like that. Other listening mechanisms, of course, our support team, our customer success team, and customer visits. I'm out at least 25% of my time out visiting with customers out in the field, as are many, not just the leaders of Acumatica, but we put our developers, our product managers, and our business analysts on the road to go out and actually sit with the customers using our product and watch what they're doing and learn and how we can make this better. And as we do that, again, certainly we're not perfect, but we're hearing things back, and what we're hearing gets us really excited. So let's take a look.
I see Acumatica as a foundation for us to be able to grow our business.
To have this global platform and everyone on the same page, so to speak, and to have that granular visibility into what's going on in the business has been a sea change for us. And if you talk to our sales guys around the world, I mean, they're just over the moon with the integration.
We've never worked with an accounting software that's so user-friendly, so efficient, and frankly, so connected.
Having one source of truth in Acumatica is massively helpful because there's no one now who has to go searching for the truth. It's all right at their fingertips.
We're confident Acumatica can take us into the future, grow with us, and still maintain all the data we're going to flood it with.
It's made our employees' lives better, made their lives easier, made their jobs easier, and the feedback that we've gotten from them has been overwhelmingly positive.
I would highly recommend Acumatica to any nonprofit, especially where they have multiple departments and multiple operations.
The three keys to Corpac success are Corpac's employees, their vendors, and Acumatica.
Acumatica just works.
Acumatica works perfect.
I love Acumatica.
Acumatica is awesome. It's completely changed our business.
Yeah, we often joke that unlike a lot of our competitors, we actually have happy customers. And it's something, it really gets me so excited to get up every day and come to work and see how we can help folks out. And this slide here talks about one of the missions we're on. One of the things we're seeing really come to the surface as people roll out Acumatica is that they're moving from being tied up in the back office and the thought of back office systems people, and they're moving to being in the spotlight and out in, with engaging analytics, taking the business from being backward looking to being forward looking. And in doing that, we're creating Acumatica heroes. All of you are heroes inside your own business, and we are so excited to be the ones that are helping to empower that. Thank you for embarking on this journey together, this Acumatica journey together. Thank you for being here at the center of the Acumatica global community, and thank you for your trust. Have a good summit.